Welcome to English Myths Explained, because some of the most common rules in English and English education were invented, exaggerated, or simply wrong. Let's get into it.
There is one English spelling rule that almost every learner knows. I before E, except after C. It was probably one of the first rules you ever learned. And according to research, it is wrong more than half the time. Today, we are looking at why this rule exists, how many exceptions it has, and what actually helps with English spelling.
Let us start with the exceptions. Words that break the I before E rule include weird, there, either, neither, foreign, leisure, seas, protein, caffeine, species, science, ancient, efficient, sufficient, society, height, weight, neighbor, and eight. That is not a short list. A 2009 analysis by researchers at Coventry University found that the rule applies correctly to only 44% of the words where it would be relevant. That means it is wrong more often than it is right. A rule that fails 56% of the time is not a rule. It is a guess. The rule emerged as a teaching mnemonic in the 19th century, a memory aid designed to help children learn a small subset of common words. In its original, more complete form, it had additional clauses and exceptions built in. But by the time it traveled through generations of classrooms, it had been simplified to the version we know today, stripped of its qualifications and presented as a universal law of English spelling. The problem is that English spelling is not governed by clean universal laws. It is governed by history, etymology, and the fact that English absorbed words from French, Latin, German, Old Norse, and dozens of other languages.
The honest truth about English spelling is that it is largely about pattern recognition, built through reading and exposure, not rules. But there are more reliable guides than I before E. The first is etymology. If a word comes from Latin or Greek, the E often comes before I, as in science, species, and efficient. The second is sound. When the letters make the long E sound and follow C, the rule does apply. Sealing, receive, deceive. When the sound is anything other than long E, the rule almost certainly does not apply. Hence, weird, there, weight, and height. Here's the practical reality. The words most commonly cited as following the rule, believe, field, peace, achieve, relief, are words most advanced English learners already know. The words that trip people up, foreign, there, weird, leisure, species, sufficient, are exactly the words the rule fails on. So the rule is most memorable for the words you already know and least helpful for the words you need help with. That is the opposite of what a useful rule should do. I before E, except after C, applies correctly to only 44% of relevant English words. It was a simplified classroom mnemonic, not a law of the language. What actually builds English spelling is reading widely, learning word origins, and understanding that English borrowed from so many languages that no single rule can cover it all. Spelling in English is a skill built through exposure, not a system cracked by a single rhyme. That is 6 myths down. Subscribe to Fluent Daily for more.